confidence in there.
Great game. 50 seconds to go. Hurts. Deep shot. Hauled in, Devontae.
Sure. And before the press conferences even start. I mean, we could talk for 45 minutes just about how atrocious the defense is.
He's just picking the big guys. Jordan Mailata, he's huge. He'll be good later on. Josh Sweat, he's tall as hell and strong. Let's get him. We'll figure him out. It's working.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trending in the AM right here on DSM Media, brought to you by Manscaped. Make sure you use promo code TRENDING. That's right, TRENDING, TRENDING. At checkout, get you 20% off and free shipping. Support Jeremy and I. Help us show the DSM team that the Trending team, we're the one carrying DSM right now. Every single morning, live here, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch at 8:30 a.m. in the morning. The only morning show of its kind. Morning, Jeremy. How you doing?
I'm doing really good. There's some good Sixers basketball yesterday, and just a lot of stuff going on this morning, and a lot of news dropping last night. So I'm excited to go over everything and have a really good show.
Yeah, we got a jam-packed show. We got Sixers to talk about. Lots of Sixers to talk about. Big win last night over the Bulls, and then again they're back-to-back. Then they're heading out to Detroit tonight to take on the unfortunately Jason Sullivan, the terrible Detroit Pistons.
Terrible.
And then we got a little bit of everything else to talk about today. We got some football topics, Aaron Rodgers. We got Thursday night football. We got OBJ topics. And then I want to talk about Buster Posey a little bit. It sounds like he's about to retire today. Yep. So we got a jam-packed show tonight, or this morning. I'm going to always say tonight.
I know.
So let's start with the Sixers. Big win last night against the Bulls. You know, a big test for the Sixers team because they were out Tobias Harris. They're going to actually be without Tobias Harris for a pretty decent amount of time, it seems like. He's got COVID. And from all the reports, it seems like he's one of those people that's got a pretty bad case of COVID. He's vaccinated and still suffering pretty bad. That was the reports from Doc Rivers yesterday afternoon. So we might not see Tobias for 10, 12, 14 days with the Sixers team. And then, you know, even after that, those people that get COVID, those athletes, you know, takes a little while to get their conditioning back up and stuff like that. So I think it was a really great team win last night, considering you're going up against one of the hottest teams in the NBA, the Bulls.
Yeah, no, it was it, and it definitely was. And Chris Romanelli, our guest we had yesterday, actually was almost spot on with the Seth Curry. He said if Seth Curry drops 21 and he drops a couple threes, we're going to win this game. Seth Curry came out, balled out, dropped 22 points. So Chris, you're off by a point. What great prediction over there.
Yeah, I forgot he said 21 points.
Yeah, I just remembered. I was just so Chris had a really good call. And just like you said, it was a really good team win. Joel Embiid, 18 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Seth Curry, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Everyone just came in, did their job, played really well. I mean, it came down to really late, but Seth Curry had another amazing shot to pretty much call the game with about 15, 20 seconds left. So it was a really good team win.
Seth Curry is intriguing to me because when we first brought him, first off, the Seth Curry for Josh Richardson trade was like probably one of the greatest trades of all time in Philly history because, I mean, getting Seth Curry for Josh Richardson and seeing how Seth Curry's performed and how Josh Richardson is not down there in Dallas. I don't even know if he's still on Dallas or not this year. Who knows? It's amazing that deal, got, consummated there. Yeah. But as soon as Seth Curry came to town, I'm like, Seth Curry is basically JJ Redick. And I hope we don't overuse Seth Curry like we overused JJ Redick. JJ Redick was playing too many minutes, and you could see it. But you saw it at the end of last year, and you're seeing it again this year. Seth Curry is not JJ Redick. Seth Curry can go 35 minutes and be effective and do more than just shoot the ball. He drives. He has a really great underrated pull-up 15 or 14 foot jump shot.
He does.
I mean, he's not a wizard on defense, but he puts in really strong effort on defense. So you're not like when JJ Redick was out there for 34, 35 minutes, you could see the defensive liability that he was on the court. Oh, yeah. Seth Curry, it's not as big of a deal. So Seth Curry, I think, is really, really starting to almost come into his own this year. I know it's early, but I'm even going to go back to the end of last year, when he pretty much carried the Sixers through the playoffs there with Joel Embiid. I really think Seth Curry's coming to his own with the Sixers right now. And it's a great sight to see going forward.
Yeah, no, definitely, 100%. So a lot of guys that were going to say really well. Over on the Bulls side, DeMar DeRozan dropped 37 on us.
Mhm.
37 points, a great day from DeRozan. DeRozan's always been that. He's a really good player and everything. But yeah, Embiid, I would have liked to see a little bit more out of him. I thought
Yeah.
he was going to really, really take over this game. But it just shows that if Embiid really has, if you really want to call it an off night, that the other guys can step up and still win games against good teams, contending teams.
Right.
So
Joel brought up something interesting after the game because he was asked about his struggles last night. I mean, 6 of 18 shooting, that's not Joel Embiid. Again, 1 of 5 from 3. I hate seeing him take 5 3-point shots in a game. And 5 of 9 from the free throw line. That's not Joel. And he makes his living at that free throw line.
Yeah.
He talked about the ball being different. And we've seen a lot of big time scorers struggling a little bit this year. And a lot of us have been saying that it's because you can't lean in for the foul, to draw the foul. And so we've seen Dame Lillard struggle. We've seen Trae Young struggle this year. We're seeing Joel struggle. I mean, I assumed it was because of the knee. Do you think a simple change in the leather and the style of the basketball could really make that much of a difference to these players?
I mean, I guess I don't really know
else that's causing all these shooters.
Right. And I guess it could be. I am not an NBA basketball player that has been playing basketball for that many years. I don't know. I was more the type where when I used to play basketball, I'd go get an outside ball and they all be different.
Yeah.
What I mean?
I didn't even know the balls were different this year.
I didn't know either.
Joel said that last night. I wasn't even aware of that.
I didn't know it was different. I mean, I guess it can make a difference. I mean, I would assume it would. Like you like certain like when I used to play, I like certain basketballs and I didn't like others. Now I don't know how big of a difference it is now. Like however they change the ball, that's gonna have to be something that I look into after the show and everything.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think any minor difference, if you use something for so long and you keep on doing it and there's one minor difference, I mean, I can't imagine like if our streams how we do it and then one thing went different, I'm like, I don't even know what to do.
Yeah, Twitter. We do.
Twitter.
We're going down. That's exactly. The thing. We are live on Twitter. If you want to watch on Twitter, that's great. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. But if you want to interact with the show, comment on the show, you got to head over to Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook. That's where we take our comments and put them up on the screen and answer them. All right, so I got a couple other things from the game last night. Couple quick ones, but one that I really think is super huge. And Danny Green's out. He's going to be out for a little while. And who started in Danny Green's place? Matisse Thybulle. And I've been thinking that Matisse should be starting on this team for a while. He actually led the team in minutes last night at 38 minutes, okay? Wow. He only took 4 shots, which is fine. He got his 4 rebounds. He got an assist, 3 steals, 2 blocks. But he led the team in the plus-minus category also at plus 13. I kind of feel like even when Danny Green comes back, and I'm a Danny Green fan. I know there's a lot of people that bash Danny Green because he has those nights where he's just god-awful shooting, but his defense is really strong, and he's a good veteran clutch player. I almost think you should flip-flop them because, A, you get Danny Green's scoring ability on the bench. You don't lose much defensively with him on the bench. And getting Matisse Thybulle's defense and the way he wreaks havoc on the defensive side with that starting unit, I think it's something that we should actually start, as Philly fans, pushing more for because, I mean, again, most minutes played, 3 steals, 2 blocks, the highest plus-minus. I mean, I want to see more of Matisse Thybulle leading the team in minutes.
Yeah, and kind of like how we were talking about the Eagles yesterday, and I'm sure we will talk about today too, is playing these younger guys that actually might be just as good as the veteran or even better, and use them more because again, Danny Green is not going to be part of our long-term future. And I know we're still trying to win now, but if Thybulle is good enough to be able to win now, he is also going to get even better. Like Thybulle is not at his best, and Danny Green is definitely not at his best.
Right.
So I think putting Thybulle in, a fantastic defender. I swear I see a Thybulle block highlight on social media every day. It is insane.
If you can make one hell of a highlight video of just his blocks.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, that's a good idea. We might have to work on that.
I'm going to
hit somebody up for that. I just, the other thing, even offensively, I know he doesn't put up 15, 20 points a game or anything like that. But the thing is, he at least is gaining confidence. So he doesn't hesitate. Like if he gets dished the ball and he's wide open, it's just no thought process. Just put it up. Goes in, it goes in. If not, it doesn't affect him defensively.
Yeah.
Some young players in his shoes that would affect their defensive side of the game. It doesn't with him.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about seeing him in the starting role. And it looks like Danny Green is going to be out again tonight. Tobias is definitely out again tonight.
Yep.
I could see the same starting 5 going out there tonight.
Yeah.
And that's great to see Matisse get 2 straight nights of big time minutes.
No, yeah, I love it. I love seeing the young guys being able to take their roles and everything.
Yeah.
Like Matt, I know obviously because of the Ben Simmons situation, but Tyrese Maxey starting every day, and
he's
now
getting better and
Thibault's
better
making-
every
he
single
is
game.
he is, and I really love it. Tyrese Maxey is really good. I wasn't sure how I thought about him right when we picked him, but I love it. So
I'm going to say I had one little tiny tidbit written down. I wrote 5 things down. We've already covered 3 of them, but I wrote down Tyrese Maxey and one key thing: not his points, not his shooting percentage, 0 turnovers. Your starting point guard plays 37 minutes, has 0 turnovers. That's big.
We usually Ben Simmons in there.
We talk about the turnover battle in other sports.
Yeah.
The turnover battle last night, 14 turnover. We won it by 1, only 14-15. But a close game that's 5 points. Your point guard had no turnovers. He has 2 or 3 turnovers. All of a sudden, that game's a totally different ball game.
Could have been a whole new game. That could have been a loss. And Tyrese Maxey, that's awesome again. No turnovers.
And the final tidbit: the bench again. Shake Milton getting back into the rhythm. 20 minutes, had 7 points, and Gorgie Yang, however you say his name, another big 18-point night last night. I mean, it's great. I mean, once Tobias and Danny Green come back, we legit have a 10-man rotation, 11 if you want to count Isaiah Joe on a random night when somebody's having an off shooting night.
Mm-hmm.
You've got 10 to 11 players deep that this team can run. Yes, we still need to train Ben Simmons. We still need to upgrade, the team with something really good with Ben Simmons. But in the meantime, this 10, 11-man rotation is really, really strong right now.
And I have a lot of confidence in them. I have a lot of confidence in these guys. They're all so good. And I do love Shake Milton and having him back there for, I almost said second line, like it was like we were watching the Flyers, but having him as backup, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I love it.
Absolutely.
Once you get these guys back, and going to be even stronger. These guys that are starting right now are going to go back to their backup roles after gaining this much confidence. It's nice 10 men.
So tonight they're in Detroit tonight, second half of a back-to-back.
Yes.
Obviously Tobias and Danny Green will be out again, so we'll have the same rotation tonight. But should the Sixers? Because it's Detroit. Detroit's terrible. They're 1-6. I know they have some young talent. They got Jeremy Grant, who is a huge process Sixers fan. From his days here. On a side note, I never wanted to get rid of Jeremiah Grant. I wanted him. I knew there's some potential there. But should they rest Joel tonight? He's been banged up. They already rested him a couple days ago. Most likely they won't because it's Tobias and Danny Green being out. But is it something you would entertain thought process wise?
I think it's always an idea to let him sit or not. But we also have a day off tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So I would say, I would play him to let him get more in the groove. I wouldn't just keep on sitting him against these bad teams. This could be a game where he plays really well and he gets his confidence up, even though it's against.
He played really well against Detroit the last time we played him a couple games ago.
Exactly. So maybe if he comes in again, he's like, all right, because he didn't have the best day yesterday. So if he has a really good game tonight, it could make him feel a lot better going into another big game against the Bulls. Just in 2 days from now. So in my eyes, I would put him in unless he is saying he has more issues. But yeah, I would definitely put him.
I 100% agree with you on that. I'm just throwing the thought process out there, not saying I agree with it. I'm hoping tonight's a night where we have, I talk about it a lot. I use the term old school load management, which is just blow your opponent out, the bad teams out, and then only play 23 to 25 minutes because you're not needed for the entire fourth quarter. Exactly. That's what I want to see tonight. I want to see Joel Embiid come out on fire. I want to see Seth Curry come out on fire. Let's put this game away early and empty out the bench in the fourth quarter and not neat those guys. Let them rest. Because again, Seth Curry's not 22. Some of these guys are not young. So I want to see them just blow the Bulls out and take care of business.
Yeah.
So, and I think they will. I think tonight, they got a lot of confidence after the Bulls game last night. And I think they come out tonight and they take care of business and have a 15, 20-point win against the Detroit Pistons.
It's needed. There's been a couple close games now, so getting a blowout is definitely going to help their confidence and everything. So I'd love it.
Yeah, love it. All right, let's move on. So that wraps up the Sixers. We got lots of other topics to talk about here. I want to touch on baseball for a little bit here. It came out late last night, early this morning, that it seems like Buster Posey is going to retire and announced that today. It was a report on The Athletic. One of their baseball writers came out with it. And Buster Posey, first off, in my opinion, no doubt about it, first ballot Hall of Fame catcher.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. He only played 12 years, actually. He's only 34, so he's still fairly young. 2010 Rookie of the Year, 2012 MVP and batting champion. Got 3 World Series championships under his belt. So he's only one of 6 catchers. If he retires today, he'll be one of only, not 6 catchers, 6 players to finish their career with a 300 batting average in their last year played.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the guy's a legend, and he changed the game. At first, we were like, oh, man, it sucks that they're changing the rules and hitting the catchers and stuff like that. But it's for the better, obviously. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on Buster Posey as a catcher and what he meant to the game of baseball?
I don't think any one person hated Buster Posey. I mean, unless you were like the Dodgers and Buster Posey would kill the Dodgers, I still don't think you'd hate the guy. Buster Posey was a player that everyone loved, still is, but before this year, he was struggling for the past couple of years, and I kind of put Buster Posey on the back burner, like, hey, his days are really over. But he came out this year, just like with that entire Giants team. He led this Giants team to 107 wins this year, which is insanity. I didn't even have the Giants making the playoffs, and they had the best record in the MLB. So Buster Posey was a huge reason.
He had over 300. What do you have, like 18 home runs and almost 60 RBIs? And didn't he have like a knee injury last year or 2 years ago? Well, 2 years ago because he sat out last year because of COVID. So he came back healthy, and I mean that's some pretty amazing numbers there. I think he changed the game of what we expect out of catchers. Before Buster Posey, you look back you're a young baby and all, but back in the 90s, catchers didn't hit 300. You weren't expecting catchers to be the 3 or 4 hitter in your lineup. Yeah, there are a few exceptions here and there, but for the most part, catchers were your 8-hole hitter. Yeah, and they were just like an on-field manager, pitching coach. Buster Posey really changed. The JT Real Mutos, what's the guy in Kansas City? Perez.
Salvador Perez.
Salvador Perez. Guys like that didn't exist.
No,
or weren't expected to exist before Buster Posey.
Yeah, no, definitely. And now that's all you see. They're actually the Orioles' first overall pick a couple years ago was a catcher, Adley Rutschman. He is a switch hitter that can mash a baseball, and he's a catcher. Yeah. And Buster Posey, they want someone like Buster Posey was. Like, you had a catcher at winning MVP, batting over 300, hitting all these home runs, and you're like, what is going on? Like, only guys that I can even really think of right now is guys like Mike Piazza and Pudge Rodriguez, like just them kind of guys. But
they were few and far between.
Yeah.
There was a reason why the same catchers were starters in the All-Star game literally 10, 12 years in a row. Because there weren't that many. Now you've got 5, 6, 7 high-end catchers. So, and honestly, I think it has something to do with the fact that he petitioned and campaigned to change the rules on hitting catchers. His catchers' careers can be stretched out a little bit more. They're not taking those big hits behind home plate anymore. I still remember, what was his name? Scott Cousins, I think it was. Scott Cousins, I think was his name. The Marlins that ran him over, that blew out his leg and stuff like that in 2011. And that hit forced him to, campaign to change the rules, and it's huge for baseball. Who would have thought that a no-name guy running over a catcher would change the game as much as it did, but it really did. And
it did.
I'm an old school guy mentality wise, and I hate rule changes. I hated adding the wild card. I hated adding the extra wild card. I hate the thought of process of adding the DH to the NL. But eventually I get over it and realize the importance of making adjustments and progressing games, and the rule changes that he helped establish for catchers in baseball really made a difference.
Huge. So is it official that he is retiring, or he's just it's in thoughts?
No, I mean the report. I don't pay for the Athletic. Sorry, I'm a cheapskate. I'm old school. I don't like to pay for my stuff. The report said he is.
Okay.
But
wow, that's huge.
But it just says report plans to retire on Thursday is the ESPN headline.
He's probably going. It's It's actually like mind blowing to me because you told me right before the show, and I was like, wow, like this. I'm still trying to process it. Like
Well,
this
you know
is
what
the
else is
catcher.
mind-boggling about it? He's got a
What's that?
$22 million player option on his contract for next year. So
Yep.
he's willing to pass up $22 million to call it quits. And the reading I did on ESPN, he's got 4 young kids. He's got 2. He's got twins that are 10, and he's got twins that are like 2 or 3. The article goes into the fact that he's been talking about. Again, I don't watch every Giants post-game press conference,
Right.
and I don't follow them on a daily basis. But supposedly he's been talking about all year wanting to spend more time as a young dad with his family. He doesn't like being on the road as much. So I expect that, and I respect that. It's all good and all.
He came in, did his thing.
Yeah.
But
And
they
his first ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion, no doubt about it.
100%. And this is the catcher that I grew up watching.
Yeah.
When he started in the league in 2010. I was 8 years old when Posey came into the league.
Such a baby.
And I was 8 years old, and now, like, I don't know, it is crazy that like the guys I grew up watching are now finally starting to retire and everything like that. Like I was 6 when the World Series happened, so I didn't take in like as big of an account like Ryan Howard leaving, and Chase Utley was kind of big because he just kept on playing. And Jimmy Rollins and them. But now these guys are finally starting to leave that I started growing up watching, and it's a whole different type of thing going on there.
Absolutely. It's great. It really is. So, but I respect it. So
no, 100%. It's for good reasons.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got if he does it, you hate to see it because of it. Like, say he got hurt and he was forced to retire early because of injury. But when you walk out on your own terms, that's the way to go, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's get back to football. Got 3 interesting football topics. 2 of them are not related to the Eagles whatsoever. 1 semi-related to the Eagles.
That's all right.
We're first going to start with the Green Bay Packers, 7-1, 7 wins in a row. Now all of a sudden it looks like 1 to 2 games are going to be without Mr. Immunized, or I can't say the word. I practiced it and I can't. Not vaccinated but immunized. Aaron Rodgers has COVID, so they don't count that as being vaccinated. So he's going to have to miss up to 13 days, which means he's not only out this Sunday against Kansas City, he could be out next week as well. And that means the Jordan Love show. It's time for the Jordan Love show, and Green Bay fans get to see if this young kid that they drafted in the first round last year has got anything. And he's going to be thrown right into the fire. I know Kansas City isn't the Kansas City of old, but they're still Kansas City.
It's still Andy Reid.
Yeah, it's still Andy Reid. He knows how to play, coach, against these young quarterbacks.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, he's still probably going to be without Devontae Adams. Andre Lazard still out in the COVID protocol. They have a chance to be back, but they haven't cleared it yet. Man, I mean, I know vaccinations and COVID. It's a really sensitive subject.
Yeah.
But is Aaron Rodgers letting this Green Bay team down by not
100%?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm all about everyone to, they can do whatever they want to do. Like, if you want to get it. If you don't, you don't. And I'm going to respect you either way. But there's so much going on that it's, in my eyes, it's for the better. And I know it is like a sensitive subject and everything. But how this year's going, and if Rodgers wants to win so bad and he'll complain about the team not doing this and the team not doing that, but then he doesn't do this.
That's a great point.
It kind of, it makes me feel a certain way. That's the easiest way to put it.
Yeah, no, I get you. I mean, it seems like I'm surprised I'm surprised Green Bay's able to play, because not only did they have multiple wide receivers out, now Aaron Rodgers has it. Even their practice squad quarterback, I wrote his name down. I never heard of him. Benkert. I don't even know what.
Kurt Benkert. I have heard of him.
You have heard of him? Okay.
Yeah.
He's got it as well. So you got
nice.
multiple quarterbacks, wide receivers who are always in the same room together. All have it. So that's concerning, because you might see actually over the next couple of days more and more Packers come out with it. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I kind of secretly am kind of excited to see Jordan Love play, to see what he's got. Unfortunately, he won't have much in the terms of wide receivers to throw to. But backup quarterbacks tend to do well with their second string wide receivers anyway, because they're running the second string practices, together and stuff like that. And the Chiefs defense isn't that great. No. And secretly, I'm all on the Russell Wilson to Philly. I'm going to be really obnoxious about it all off season. I will be first in line to buy a Russell Wilson Eagles jersey if that pipe dream happens. But there's 3 potential quarterbacks on the market. You got the Deshaun Watson situation, which is another sticky situation. You got Russell Wilson potentially wanting out, and Aaron Rodgers. If Jordan Love does well, maybe Aaron Rodgers is on the market. So let's
That'd be
hope for
something.
Jordan Love to be really good, because then it throws Aaron Rodgers on the market as well. So,
That would be
excuse me,
something.
I kind of would like to see that.
Yeah, Jordan Love. This is going to be huge for him going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. This is our first time seeing him. I hated the pick when it happened. Not as much as Rodgers did. But it was terrible. You know what? Maybe he liked it because he got an MVP out of it. Jordan Love gets picked. I'm getting an MVP. I am very excited to see Jordan Love just as much as you. I'll definitely be watching that game and seeing what's going on.
Hey, and you know what else happens out of this whole situation? Blake Bortles continues to get a paycheck because he was brought back to be the backup quarterback this week because their practice squad guy got COVID. So they needed a backup. He was with them in camp this year, so he knows the system and playbook. So Blake Bortles continues to collect an NFL paycheck for another week.
How does he continue to do this? This is not right.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. It's like Chase Daniel.
Exactly like Chase Daniel. I mean, well, that boy made a lot of money off of one backup game.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Man.
I don't know about you. I mean, you're still young. You can still turn your life around. But how I went wrong with money. You know, how I wasn't Chase Daniels or Blake Bortles. Man, I made some mistakes in life for sure. These guys never even have to take any hits. They just get these $1 million paychecks all the time.
Just sat on the bench. Actually, just sat on the bench while watching someone else play. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Good for them. Good for.
All right. So they don't have any wide receivers. So it seems like he hasn't been cut yet. But it seems like there might be a wide receiver, a Pro Bowl level diva wide receiver that's going to be on the market pretty soon here in OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr. And made a comment yesterday on Twitter after Eric Wilson was finally released yesterday from the Eagles. Cut, put on waivers, whatever it is. And I said, and I called it out again, I was right. I said to everybody, Eric Wilson's not a big deal. And everyone was like, whatever, you're wrong. He's going to be this great signing for the Eagles, great value signing. Like, no, Eric Wilson, whatever. So then OBJ, everybody's like, the Eagles need to right now go out and get OBJ, if he's available. And I'm like, why? We just got over the fact that everyone just finally agrees that getting rid of Eric Wilson to play the young linebackers, the Davion Taylors, the TJ Edwards, is the right move. Why would you want to bring in OBJ when we're not trying to win a Super Bowl this year? Everyone's like, what? You're trying to compare Eric Wilson and OBJ? Like, no. They're obviously two different level talents, obviously. But if we're trying to figure out and learn what this youthful team is, if we're trying to see if Jalen Reagor, I know he might be out this week with an ankle injury, or Quez Watkins, Jonathan Hightower might get called up from the practice squad this week. If we're trying to learn what these guys are, why would you want to bring OBJ? We need a veteran wide receiver, yes, but we need a veteran wide receiver that's going to be the fourth or fifth guy that's just going to help. We need basically a Jordan Matthews type guy that's in the locker room just helping coach these guys, help them with some of the struggles of being in the NFL.
Yeah.
OBJ is completely opposite of what we need. And then you're going to have OBJ mouthing off when he doesn't get the ball thrown. If you imagine Devontae Smith and his 3 targets and 1 catch last week, that being OBJ's stat line, his first week with the Eagles, because they run the ball or Hurts can't find him. Can you imagine the spouting off that OBJ would do and the controversies he would cause?
Yeah. So I'm a little bit more on the Odell side of things with everything that's going on in Cleveland.
Right.
I kind of get what's going on with him, and I 100% get his frustrations. And he really hasn't been very vocal about it. He's kind of been holding to himself, because this has been going on for a long time now since he's been in Cleveland. And I don't think it's him trying to say, I want to get 15 targets a game. But when he gets a stat line where he gets 1 reception and 6 yards against the Pittsburgh Steelers and they lose 15-10, and he gets targeted, I think he got targeted twice in Sunday's game. I get the frustration because he is still I would still say a top tier receiver. He does get open. You see it all like that. So I am more on the Odell side of that. And he does cause controversy. No matter what you're going to say, he is that kind of guy. Not as bad as he used to be. He used to be so much worse. I do think he has grown as a player. And again, I think he would help these receivers on the Eagles, but I don't want him. I don't want him in Philadelphia because he would take reps away. That is my only reason why. If we were in a position right now to win right now, if we were going like, hey, we're not even just playoffs. We want to go deep into these playoffs. We're not just going to win this NFC East. Yeah, try and get Odell under any circumstances. Get Odell, because he would make this team better this year if we got him. But in the long run, you're even taking reps away from Devontae Smith because they would make Odell would be the right wide receiver one.
Mhm.
He would be the first guy on the field, and then Rager gets less snaps. Watkins, all these guys that you just rattled off, they're getting less snaps, and these guys need snaps right now. That's how you make them better. So Odell, I love him as a player, and I hope that he leaves Cleveland and goes to a really good team.
Green Bay.
Green
Bay
Bay is
could
an
use
option
him right now. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Las Vegas needs a wide receiver right now, unfortunately.
Yes.
Man, we haven't even talked about that this week.
No.
I don't even know how to talk about it, honestly. All I can say is don't drink and drive, people.
Don't. It's
there's
terrible.
So many options out there, especially for NFL players. You know, they don't even have to pay for it. Like me and you, if we well, you're underage, so you shouldn't be drinking anyway, right?
Of course.
You know, there's no excuses for us at all. You know what I mean? Someone's chiming in. Raiders don't need the distraction either. Skill-wise, perfect with Carr, but he would put up monster numbers, but I'm okay with it. Yeah. I mean, the whole Ruggs situation, I mean, it's a travesty. It's so sad. And I pray for their family, the family of the victims and all. And there's just no excuse when there's so many options out there. You know, Uber, Lyft, the NFL players get a free car service at any at a moment's notice, and it's been like that, and you still see this over and over again. It's just something that is so avoidable.
Extremely irresponsible.
Jason doesn't want to see them on the Raiders, but you know what? I mean, there's literally a dozen teams that are in a playoff chase that could use a veteran wide receiver right now.
Oh, yeah. I think Odell would be a great fit over there. Derek Carr and Odell, that'd be fantastic. And the receivers over in Las Vegas aren't as good as it used to be. I did see the Derek Carr press conference.
I caught a part of it when him saying if no one else is going to call him and check on him, you know, I will. I mean, he really is. I mean, that was a really big moment for him and something that he probably takes some flack for saying that because, I mean, what Ruggs did, totally unnecessary, awful. He deserves every ounce of punishment that he gets for that. But again, he made a mistake and he's ruined his life. And, you know, I'm sure he's, you know, regretting every moment of that decision now.
Oh my God.
And,
he's probably
got nobody to call him and just check on him. So, you know, that Derek Carr doing that and saying that, you know, was really, really great. And I'm sure the rest of the Raiders locker room respects Carr even more for the leader that he's being. And that locker room knows that, you know, Carr's got their backs no matter what. So that was really big for Carr to do that there.
Definitely. 100%. Yeah. Really bad situation to happen.
Do you think OBJ gets cut or released soon?
So at first I didn't when I saw everything happening, but he is now. They did not have him come to practice for yesterday. He did not go to practice yesterday. He's not practicing with the team anymore. Odell has not talked with Stefanski or Baker. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive he was asked not to come to practice. I don't think he was. He was
asked not to come to practice. That's the way it was phrased in the report I read.
Exactly. It wasn't him saying I'm not coming. He was asked not to come.
There's got to be something behind the scenes that happened there.
There's some. Well, you did see Odell's dad, his post, right?
I saw it. I didn't watch the whole thing.
No, I wasn't sure if you heard about that post. Yeah. So I guess they're all upset. I still think it's something they can figure out. That Browns team is still a pretty good team. I don't think that.
So like 2 years ago, they were an overachieving team. Now I kind of see them as an underachieving team.
Yeah, me too.
So they're not living up to the hype now. Whether that's Baker, whether it's Stefanski, I'm not sure. It's injuries. Chubb being out for a few games. Hunt's been out for a few games. Not sure what the problem is, but Well, this was not that one. He responded by saying, "Well, I never really practiced since I got on the team anyway." Yeah, what the hell? Yeah, exactly. I get that. I totally do. Man. So I mean, I think he'll get released soon.
I
I'm
think
surprised
so
he wasn't traded at the deadline. Honestly, that was probably my biggest surprise of the trade deadline. But yeah, I think he won't clear waivers because I think there's enough teams that need him that someone will claim him on waivers, so he won't have the choice of where to go. He'll just have to go to whoever takes that stab at him. So there's a lot of teams there.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so tonight we got the Carson Wentz Colts against the red hot Mike White led Jets. Again, who? I said it before the show. Mike White. It sounds like a name from the Witness Protection Program. Like he's in hiding in New York. Oh, you need a backup quarterback? Yeah, I could go out there and sling the ball a little bit. I didn't know this. I was prepping to look for like things on tonight's game and who I was going to pick and whatnot. Mike White he's got the record for most completions in his first NFL start. 37 completions last week. No one's ever done that. And he's only the second quarterback with 400 plus yards in his first career start. Can you name the other quarterback? A semi-recent quarterback who's actually a free agent right now.
Oh, wow. 400 yards in his first career start?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I can't even.
Cam Newton. You wouldn't have thought Cam Newton.
Really?
Cam Newton is the other quarterback to do that. That was per Adam Schefter. I didn't fact check it. I saw it on Adam Schefter's page, so I assume it's accurate.
If Schefter said it, it's right.
Yeah, if Adam Schefter said it, I guess it's right.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, Jason saying he's got him on his fantasy team. Yeah, I mean, he might throw some numbers up there tonight. I don't know who your other quarterback is, but I know I'm playing him in DFS tonight with my single game showdown slates. But of course, 2-5. I mean, it was a huge win. Them beating Cincinnati last week. No one saw that coming.
No.
So they actually have 2 wins. They have 2 decent wins. I don't know if the Jets are turning a corner or not, or just getting lucky. But Carson Wentz and the Indianapolis Colts have to think that they have a shot at that division now. I know they're 3-5 versus 6-2 Titans, but with Derrick Henry going down, they have to think they have a shot. We want them to think they have a shot because that keeps Carson Wentz playing and not getting benched, and that whole confusing conversation gets put off to the side. Yeah. How do you see the game playing out tonight?
I think the Colts are actually going to have a pretty good win. I think that Mike White thing, I think that was the trick. I don't think it's going to stay going that well. If it does, that's fine. I think that'd be an amazing story and everything. But most of the time, it is not what's going to happen again. Mike White's probably going to come out and he's going to throw like 3 interceptions and, he's going to have a bad day. And I think Carson Wentz is going to kind of he beat up on the Texans when they faced a bad team. Jets are still a bad team, no matter what anyone says. They're still a bad team. So I think Carson Wentz and the Colts are going to beat up on them. And I think that's what Philadelphia fans actually have to hope right now. If Carson Wentz and the Colts right now lose to the Jets, they might actually bench him in a couple weeks.
I mean, it's hard to imagine them doing it. I don't think they should bench him because they kind of are tied to Carson even next year. And they want him to be their franchise quarterback. Yeah. You bench him, even if it's for business purposes, not playing purposes, you're hurting his psyche and you're slowing down his, if you want to call it the rebuild of Carson Wentz by benching him. He needs to play.
I just think that if they lose to the Jets, that'll be like
it depends on why they lose to Jets. Is it because their defense gives up 400 yards to Mike White, or is it because Carson Wentz has, because outside of last week, Carson Wentz has not turned the ball over as much as he previously had. He has improved and worked on that. I see the game strategy playing out with, the Colts winning. I don't think Carson Wentz is going to throw 300 plus yards or anything like that. No. But, their running backs, Taylor, Hines, Mack, all them, they're going to get the ball a lot. Michael Pittman breaking out, I think, this year. He's probably one of the young studs. He might already be a top 10 wide receiver at this point, in my opinion. He's got the potential to be a top 5 wide receiver in this league.
He does.
Absolutely. And he's so young, too. So Carson's got a gem there. And I don't buy the, if Jason's saying he's got Derek Carr as his other quarterback, if you could get a trade for White, do it, sell high right now, even if it's for something a little less than you'd think you would get at this point. Because I don't think the Mike White hype train is going to continue. Plus, Zach Wilson will be back eventually, and they're not going to keep Zach Wilson on the bench for Mike White. They're just not going to do that. So
no matter what happens,
sell Mike White if you can in fantasy. Like you said, DFS single game showdown slate tonight. I will have Mike White in all my lineups, and he'll be one of my MVPs in a few of them for sure. Just because you got to take a stab at it. Why not? Why not? Ride that. But Colts win this game. I'm seeing it play out somewhere in the neighborhood of 27 or 31 points for the Colts. Probably 31 points for the Colts. And maybe 17 for the Jets. Something like that. So I'm talking myself into it. 31-17. That's the Colts victory tonight. Carson Wentz throws 1 touchdown, but they get 2 rushing touchdowns from Taylor. And that's how the game plays out, in my opinion.
That was actually like your score. Like as you were talking, I was like,
I actually didn't write anything down. I was just kind of winging it there.
I was saying 31-17. I was like, I'm going to say 31-17 is my prediction. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So both of us got Colts 31-17. That was definitely my prediction. I think it's going to be handled really well. And I think Carson Wentz is going to come out. And I think he's going to have a good day. I really do think he's going to have a good day.
I don't know which quarterback he's talking about throwing 4 interceptions. I'm assuming it's Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
But if he could throw 4 interceptions, he'd still have less than Patrick Mahomes.
He would.
Yeah. At some point one morning, we're going to spend like 15 minutes talking about Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
You know, and what he is doing, because Patrick Mahomes is struggling with the turnovers, and no one's talking about it. You know, Carson Wentz, they talk about his turnovers all the time, but Patrick Mahomes does it. And yes, I know he's won a Super Bowl and played in another. He's earned the right to have a bad season, but it's still something that has to be talked about at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. All right, so there was breaking news. I mean, I know literally nothing about it. I'm hoping you know something about hockey. As I brought up ESPN's website to get, the Buster Posey news, it says breaking news: Sabres trade Eichel to the Golden Knights. Jack Eichel and a draft pick to Vegas exchanged for Peyton Krebs, Alex Tuck, and a first-round pick and a third-round pick. I know Jack Eichel is a pretty good player. Golden Knights are a pretty good team. I guess that's a big trade. I really don't know.
I'm kind of on the same boat as you. I am not huge in hockey, and that's why, like we said before, we are going to keep on trying to bring on a Flyers guy.
I haven't had a chance to bring on Jason yet. I'm going to get Jason. Maybe I can get Jason on tomorrow morning so he can break that down and anything that's going on with the Flyers right now.
Yeah.
But supposedly that's breaking news right there. And we did say we would call on any story that's going on in football and baseball, in hockey, in all sports.
Yeah.
We'll see. I got to find out some more information on that.
Definitely.
But supposedly that's it, if hockey news is at the top of ESPN's page, it must be a big deal in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. It must be something huge.
Yeah. Jason saying he knows Wayne Gretzky, and that's it. Yeah. I know who Wayne Gretzky's daughter is, Dustin Johnson's wife. Yeah, I know that one too. That's the other thing I know. You if you don't know, look it up. Yeah, exactly. So that's all I got today for trending in the AM. Jeremy, what about you?
I think other than that, I do know about the Flyers. I do know that they're facing the Penguins tonight at 7:00. So that's going to be a huge rivalry game.
Yep.
Definitely something going to be tuning in. I'm going to be watching that and Thursday Night Football. Going to be a good night.
Yeah, there's a lot of sports on TV tonight, which means we got a lot to talk. So if the Flyers play tonight, I'm going to really beg Jason to come on tomorrow morning, as long as he doesn't have work or anything like that.
Right.
And try to get him on to talk about the Flyers game, the trade, and anything else in hockey. And don't worry, guys, we're working on bringing down Philadelphia Union guy on here too soon.
Yes.
The Union are the only team that are guaranteed to be in the playoffs this year at this point. So we got to talk about Philadelphia Union as well.
Definitely.
And something I'm going to do, it's something that's super cheesy, but something I love. And I know there's a couple of radio hosts that bring it up on different channels and stuff like that. They always talk about it's the National Day of. And it's funny because tonight's my night off and I do all the cooking. Today is National Men Make Your Women Dinner Day. So, Jeremy, hint, you're off today too.
Yeah. Wow.
I hope
what are the odds of
that?
I hope
the girl isn't watching because she's going to expect dinner from you tonight.
What are the odds that on my day off
it's National Men Make Women Dinner Day?
Man, well,
it's also National Candy Day, which why that's not on Halloween or the day after Halloween. Why it's on the 4th of November, I don't know. But It's National Eat Candy Day, and I still have a lot of Halloween candy, so I'm sure I'll be chomping on that. Yeah. I'll be on a sugar rush tonight on when we do DFS. No pun intended. Jason and I. Which when I say Jason, there's two Jasons. There's Jason Sullivan I do my fantasy shows with. Then there's Jason Voorhees, who's a Flyers contributor for us. So there's lots of Jasons that work with DSM. So got to know which ones we're talking about here.
We have a lot going on tonight for DSM too. I'm pretty sure Faithful Fanatics is on at 5.
It is.
There's something else in between. I know you have your show at 9.
I got my DFS. Right? No pun intended. We got Brandon. He runs his own fantasy website coming on. We're gonna break down the Sunday DFS slate. And we're gonna see. So on the DFS show, what we do is it's myself, it's Jason Sullivan, and we always bring a guest on. We break down the main DraftKings slate, the 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock games, building your lineups and stuff like that. And then at the end of the show, we all pick our lineups live on the show. And then what we do a 3-way. I create a private contest, me versus Jason versus the guest. We put our lineups in. It's just cheap, $3, winner take all. And I've won now 3 of the last 4 weeks. Which
on a roll.
I'm on a roll. So I put it out there, and Brandon, who was a guest on the show like earlier in the year, as soon as I put it out there, I'm like, who wants to step up to the plate and try to knock my win streak off? He's like, dude, I need another chance at beating you. He responded in like 3 seconds. of coming onto the show. So, he definitely wants a shot at beating me. I'm a big DraftKings guy. I love fantasy football in general, but I also really, really love DraftKings and those single-day slates and DFS stuff. I'm really passionate about it. So is Jason. So make sure you tune into that 9 o'clock tonight. It's a lot of fun, but we can really teach you a lot about how to really make some money on draft. You don't have to enter the Millionaire Maker and play one entry for $20 against 400,000 other people. Odds are you're not going to win that. We give you a lot of advice on how to build your lineups and also what kind of tournaments to enter to make money. So it's a really informative and fun show. So make sure you check that out at 9 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, and I'm not positive, but I know that usually we have Turf Talk right before Thursday Night Football at like 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
so I'm pretty sure Turf Talk is also today. Yeah. Thursday is always a packed day for
Thursday's jam-packed. This is one of 4 shows on Thursday.
And usually there's Diamond Talk. I don't know if we're gonna have Diamond Talk today. Schedules have been getting changed up a lot between me and George, so we're trying to find out another day for Diamond Talk to come back on. But usually we had them also on Thursdays at 3:30.
Dude, there's a lot to talk about for Diamond Talk. The offseason's about to start.
Exactly.
Free agency will be right around the corner.
We're starting to find a day.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So
definitely.
DSM Media, make sure you tapped in. I mean, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. There is so much happening. And this is now episode 4 of Trending in the AM. We've actually made it through 4 days without oversleeping.
We're almost going to hit a week.
One of us is going to oversleep at some point in the first couple of weeks of this show.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who, but somebody will. Somebody will get really drunk the night before and not wake up in time. I guarantee it. If it's me, it'll be on a Monday because I'll drink heavily on a Sunday after football, and I'll forget to set my alarm or something like that. Everybody have a great day. Enjoy the day. Make sure you're tuned into DSM Media all day long, and of course, all the great sports that are happening, like Sixers, Flyers, Thursday Night Football. So much great stuff happening, and the Mayakoba Champion PGA. I'm a big PGA guy. Strongest field of the fall swing is the off season unofficially, but we got a lot of great golf happening this weekend too. So you'll see me and Jason Sullivan tweeting a lot about golf this weekend. So everybody have a great day. Again, Trending in the AM brought to you by Manscaped. 20% off and free shipping with the promo code TRENDING. Make sure you use the promo code TRENDING, TRENDING. We greatly appreciate your support. And our t-shirt site, we got new logos dropping this week. Some Sixers designs, but we got all our show designs up there as well. Support the podcast by supporting our t-shirt site. It's linked on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Make sure you check it out. And almost every weekend, they've got some kind of sale going on where you can support the podcast, but also support. Yeah, thank you, Jason, for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. Everybody that tunes in, make sure you're watching on YouTube and Facebook so your comments can be put up on the screen until the Twitter situation is fixed. Jeremy, have a great day off.
You too. All right. Yeah, you don't have off, but
I don't have off. I got to be at work in about 30 minutes here. So, it's a shorter day for me. So hopefully, everybody shows up. If my employees are watching, show up to damn work today. Hey, everybody have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. with the next episode of Trending in the AM.